Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Today we're heading back into the Grand Prix mode, and we are going to be playing 150cc once again, except today we are heading into some of the DLC courses. And in today's episode, we are going to play as the last Koopaling that is remaining, who is Roy. And we have a new glider, which is the Waddle Wing. And you know what? I'm gonna use it, partially because it's new, and also partially because I'm tired of using the Bowser Kite. So here we go, we're using the Waddle Wing as our glider. And for Roy, I feel like something purple or pink would look good on him, due to his shell and his sunglasses. And the Duke is purple. So you know what, I'm gonna go with the Duke, and I have never used it before, which is what the red exclamation mark symbolizes, in case you did not know that. I could use these tires, but I'm looking for purple tires. Or pink tires. I don't have any. So I'll use these slim tires. They look pretty good in my opinion. And Roy is a heavy character, which would normally be a problem, except for the fact that we're playing on 150cc. So playing as a heavy character is not that big of a deal. And we are heading into the Golden Dash Cup. As you can see, there's a whole second page, which adds a ton more courses. It jumps from the already huge amount of 48 courses in the game, 12 Grand Prix, to a total of 96 courses, which has 24 cups in total for all the Grand Prix modes. So there's a ton of content. I personally think it's amazing. It's not very expensive either. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. There's still a lot more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content to go through, don't you worry. And the Golden Dash Cup consists of Tour Paris Promenade, 3DS Toad Circuit, N64 Choco Mountain, and Wii Coconut Mall. Let's begin. So the first course out of all the DLC tracks, specifically of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is Paris Promenade, which comes from Mario Kart Tour. And Mario Kart Tour is the only Mario Kart game, I believe, unless there's one that I'm missing, but I don't think there is, that is on mobile devices like phones or tablets, which is pretty cool. And it's also nice that they put it into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so if I don't have a phone, which I do, but I'm saying for the people who don't have phones, but have a Nintendo Switch, which is kind of weird, but let's just imagine this hypothetical scenario that they met those requirements. They could still play these courses if they bought the DLC, which I think is really cool. So here we are, and if you couldn't tell, but I think it's pretty obvious, Paris Promenade is based off a real-life place, Paris, in France. So here we are, driving through the streets of Paris, which I think is pretty cool. Putting real-life locations in Mario. So it's a pretty simple track, which does make sense. It is the first course of the DLC, so it should be a little bit simple. But there is a little special gimmick on every single Tour City track, which we will see once we enter lap 3. But so far, it's pretty smooth sailing. It's quite a nice track. I enjoy it. And on 150cc, we're not driving crazy fast, which if you saw 200cc, it's quite fast. But we're almost at lap 3, so we're going to be getting pretty close to this special gimmick. So here we are, lap 3 is going to begin. And you may have noticed, when we look at the mini-map, that there's a path to the right that we've never took. But now there are these red arrows forcing me to go this way. And on all the city tracks, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they have multiple different paths that we take. So some of them are on every lap we take a different path. On some of them, like this one, it's only on the final lap where we take a different path. And it's really cool. And the reason that they did that is because on Mario Kart Tour, there were different variants of each course. They're like, for example, for Paris Promenade, it'd be like Paris Promenade 1, Paris Promenade 2, Paris Promenade 3, and then they have reverse versions and trick versions. And so, to try and combine all of them together and into one track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they just made each lap, or in some cases like Paris Promenade, just the final lap, be different, which I think is really cool. And as you will see on some of the later ones, it does make the layouts very tricky to comprehend. But for the easier ones, like Paris Promenade, it's pretty simple, and it's a really cool gimmick that switches things up, and I enjoy it a lot. But there we go, our first course out of all the DLC tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been complete. Well, DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe being specific, not the DLC for the original Mario Kart 8, which was included with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's kind of confusing. But the second course of the Golden Dash Cup is 3DS Toad Circuit, which I know at the time was a little bit of a controversial decision for this course to be added, because this is like the 50th course that's in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And this is like a really simple course if you look at the layout. So some people weren't too happy with its inclusion. I personally don't really mind, because it's always good to have some simple tracks. Here we go, Toad Circuit. It was the starting track of Mario Kart 7. So it is very simple, as you can see. And not much about it has changed. Which is probably another reason why people don't really like it that much. But I like it. It's fun. And it's got cool music. We can take the shortcut over here. Look at that, a cool shortcut. Oh, a red shell. And I got a Bob-omb. Okay, please let me pass. Or not. Oh, let me toss that back to protect myself. But anyways, another thing that was noticeable at the beginning of the DLC, but they did change this later on, is that none of the courses have either anti-gravity, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's whole gimmick, and all of them are returning tracks from past games. None of them, up until later on in the DLC, were new. So in the first wave, which if you didn't know, the DLC for this game were each released in waves over the courses of 2 years, which wave 1 consists of the Golden Dash Cup and the Lucky Bell Cup, I believe it was. Anyways, it was the first and the second cup, which released in one wave. None of them had anti-gravity, and they were all from old games. But in some of the later cups, like in wave 2, they started making some new tracks. And I think it was in wave 3, they added anti-gravity. So they slowly started to improve upon on the DLC and on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in general. Which, you know, is a really good thing to do. You always want to improve upon your successes. But we don't want Morton to win. Which I know Morton did not win the episode we were playing with him. But Morton, this is Roy's time to shine. Come on, take the shortcut! Go, go, go! Okay, so there we go. Another win for Roy. That one was a little bit closer. So the third course of the Golden Dash Cup is N64 Choco Mountain. So this course is actually pretty old. It was from the second Mario Kart game, in case you didn't know. Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64 came out a really long time ago. And this course looks completely different from the N64 version. And in my opinion, I think this is a good change. It looks so much cooler. And once again, it also has great music. Mario Kart is amazing music. You cannot change my mind on that. So let me get Morton out of the way. There's some annoying bats, let's avoid them. And it's pretty smooth sailing. There's some nice gems in this cave. We cannot collect them, unfortunately. But on this part over here, there are some falling rocks that we want to avoid. On these little marks, the rocks can fall down and squish us. We don't want to get squished. But the DLC is a really cool feature, because it doubles the amount of courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, hey, why wouldn't you not want more courses? And not only that, later on in the DLC, they added some more features, like they added new characters, for example, in waves 4, 5, and 6, which were totally unexpected, because it was advertised to only come with, well, not only, but it was advertised to come with 48 courses. But then later on, they added characters as well, which were just an added bonus, which was amazing. But a question for you guys that I have is, do you have the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? I know it has came out a long time ago, even before I started recording videos on YouTube. Well, maybe not a long time ago, it was like a few years ago. But at the time you're watching this might be a long time ago. But do you have the DLC, or are you watching my video so that you can see what the DLC is like and figure out if you want to buy the DLC? Which, you know what, is perfectly fine, because some people don't want to spend extra money on games that they've already paid for, which is understandable. But personally, I bought this right away, because it looked amazing. more tracks on one of the Mario Kart games that has the most tracks, why would I say no to that? Oh. Okay. Well, I got hit by lightning. But I'm okay. I've got a huge lead. Oh, no. Uh-oh. I couldn't make it. Alright, so starting to get a little bit closer on the falling rock. Almost squished me. Oh, it almost squished me again. I don't like that. This is getting too close. Go! Come on! Uh-oh, I can see Inkling. I failed the tricks there because I was looking backwards. But that's okay, because I got another first place finish for Roy. So this is looking good for our first cup of the DLC courses. But can we keep this streak going with the last course? So the final course of the Golden Dash Cup is Wii Coconut Mall. So here we are, it's the final course on Coconut Mall, which is a very popular Mario Kart track. So here we go, let's see how we can do it. We are driving through a literal mall. Hopefully we don't run over anybody. We're riding up and down the escalators. It's pretty chaotic. Throw a red shell at Inkling Girl. And once again, just like all the other courses, has great music. Alright, so now we have a split path. We can go up or down. Let's start with going up on the first lap and then down on the second lap. And there's a glider ramp here with some items. And now we are in the parking lot. Uh-oh. Ow. And as you can see here, the cars in the parking lot are doing little donuts, which is something that when the DLC originally came out in Wave 1, the cars did not do donuts. They just stood still. And when the Wave 2 came out, they made it... I'm getting hit by everything. But they made a change so that the cars would spin around and do donuts. Oh, the escalators. I'm having lots of bad luck. But let me continue talking. They changed it so that the cars would spin around, in this case do donuts, and hit everybody. Because lots of people were very upset at Nintendo for making the course easier, because in the original version of Mario Kart Wii, the cars would drive back and forth and try to hit you. And they originally did not do that, and people were upset. So when Wave 2 came around, Nintendo changed that. And now it's like that. But in time trial mode, it does not move around because it wouldn't be fair to the people who originally did the time trial. They would have an easier way to get around the cars because they wouldn't move. So the cars doing donuts are only exclusive to racing modes. But I think it's really cool that Nintendo went back and improved on something that the fans were complaining about. It probably helped people. Like, they're like, oh, okay, well, if they're gonna change it, I don't know, maybe I'll be less upset about it. But anyways, it's the final lap. I've been talking a lot. I should probably be focusing more on the race itself. But I've got a lot of defense items. I'm in first place. Things are going well. And I'm gonna go down here again. Alright, so we just gotta avoid the cars. Come on, cars! Get out of the way! Don't do donuts! Ah! Okay, I thought I was gonna do a donut. Okay. There we go. First place on Coconut Mall, which means for the first DLC Grand Prix of the game, we got a 3-star finish. So here we go, our review of the Golden Dash Cup. It's Coconut Mall, everyone's favorite Mario Kart track. Although I am aware that some people aren't a big fan of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version, because people are saying it looks less like a realistic mall, and it looks a bit too cartoony. But in my opinion, it doesn't really matter to me how the courses look. In my opinion, it more matters on if the courses are fun. But anyways, our results for the Golden Dash Cup is first place on Paris Promenade, first place on Toad Circuit, first place on Choco Mountain, and first place on Coconut Mall. So here we go, our trophy, 3-star finish. That was great. That was our first Grand Prix that we won, and we played, because we won it and played it at the same time, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. of the Booster Course Pass, which is the name of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, which I realized that up to this point I had not said it a single time, and I just called it the DLC. But there you guys go. If you want to go research it, I said the name. It's the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, and I don't know what else to say. But anyways, that's where we're going to wrap it up for today's episode of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.